Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. The numbers recently came out with that 7.4% increase in veteran homelessness. I did a video on that a couple days ago with some information from, I believe it was Military Times, as well as directly from the VA regarding those numbers and that uptick in homelessness. Now, there is a DAV statement, so Disabled American Veterans, statement on veteran homelessness numbers. So I wanted to dive into that. It's pretty short. Just wanted to share it with you, bring it into your awareness. Please hit the thumbs up for me, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. Hitting that thumbs up and letting the video run pushes this into the hands of others, so I really appreciate that. If you want to support the channel in another way, you can consider joining. Becoming a member is a great way to support the channel, and it helps me to find you in the comments. All right, so let's jump into it here. DAV is disheartened to learn of the more than 7.4% increase in veteran homelessness, including a 14% rise in unsheltered veterans in the point-in-time count from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Last month, the Department of Veterans Affairs announced its goal of permanently housing 38,000 veterans, a full 2 months early. However, those efforts were not enough to overcome the largest yearly jump in veteran homelessness since federal officials started tracking more than a decade ago. While the VA has made significant strides since 2010 in reducing the overall number of homeless veterans with a 55.3% drop, more needs to be done to fully address the severity of this nationwide housing crisis. We have learned what works and know that ending veteran homelessness is possible, but it's only possible when our nation chooses to fully invest in programs and systems that work. Emergency rental assistance, preserving and expansion of affordable housing stock, implementation and enforcement of comprehensive tenant protections, and leaders willing to treat this issue like the emergency it is. If not, our nation will continue to struggle with ending veteran homelessness. That ends their statement. That's, again, the DAV, Disabled American Veterans, good organization. I will say that if you are homeless or at risk of becoming homeless, now at risk could mean maybe you received a notice to vacate because you're late on your rent. Maybe you have a shut-off notice from your utility provider, electricity, gas, what have you. Those things do create a possibility of becoming homelessness, because if you don't have gas or electricity coming to the house, you are not in a habitable location, and therefore you are deemed homeless. So if you are in one of these types of positions, it does not hurt to take a look and see what's out there as far as options. I would Google search, right? SSVF, that's Sierra, Victor, Foxtrot. So SSVF, Supportive Services, Veterans, Families. And in your county, in your state, whatever, and see what locations pop up near you and contact them. They have money that comes from the VA as grants. Those grant funds get broken into two different buckets. One bucket is roughly 80%, and that is directed directly for homeless veterans. The other 20% or 25% or whatever, somewhere around there, is used for at-risk veterans. So this could also include, there are provisions within that could include, hey, look, I got a flat tire. I am paycheck to paycheck. I don't have anything. I need to make it to work. If I don't make it to work, I'm going to get fired. And they can pay not you, but the tire shop for a tire for you. They can also pay for a storage unit. So if you have a late notice on a storage unit and they're going to basically seize your property and you have that all in writing, you can submit that as well, and they can. There's provisions within the SSVF guidelines, at least as of a few years ago, that allow for payment of a storage unit. So there are possibilities there. Also, you'll have other nonprofits and so forth, and the veteran service organizations often will. And when I'm saying veteran service organizations, I'm talking about VFW, American Legion, DAV, and so on, right? So all 900 of them. If you have one in your area and you need a little help, right? Just a little to get you over the hump. A lot of these organizations have a few $1,000s socked away somewhere that they use for these types of situations. You don't need to be a member of one of the organizations. You just simply need to be a veteran, or in some cases a spouse of a veteran who's in a tight spot for a minute, and because they don't have the funding to support long term. But if it's a one-time fix, this can help, and that they'll be able to help with that. And again, they'll pay the actual provider, not you, to help out in these tight situations. So just food for thought. I wanted to share that with you. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.